Speaking about the incidents in the 6th district, we had as many as 2 homicide investigations as well as a non-fatal shooting investigation in the 6th district over the last 48 hours. None of which I can specifically state that are related, but I think it was important that I come before our community on this Friday and say, hey, we are aware, we do see the spike, and we are investigating each and every one of these incidents appropriately. I have issued additional overtime hours to our homicide division as well as our district patrols to further their investigations, but to also increase our visibility throughout our city. I think what is the most alarming thing to me right now about these incidents this week is that they're occurring during broad daylight. And not just during broad daylight, to have an incident to occur, a homicide to occur at a church. If a church ground is not sacred, what is? So we really have to think about what the criminal element that we're dealing with today, this day and age. A bolder, as I've said before, more brazen criminal element that we're dealing with. So with that being said, I just wanted to reassure our citizens that we, the New Orleans Police Department, are continuing to be engaged. We will continue to be engaged, not just through thorough investigations, but also through our deployment and proactive investigations. I have an ask of our community as well. I've always said this, I will continue to say it. If you see something, please say something. But it goes a step further. If you have information that can help further our investigation, if you have evidence, such as video footage, still prints, or what have you, that can help further our investigation, please bring that to us so that we can do our due diligence and bring in peace to those victims and their loved ones. So I'm asking you, reach out to our district investigators at the various districts if you have information. Reach out to Homicide. 658-5300 is our homicide division. Or you can contact us anonymously through Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. But please bring that information to us as the investigating agency so that we can do our due diligence in appropriately investigating these cases. Last but certainly not least, to those offenders, those individuals who have committed these crimes, we are coming for you. We have several cases that have been solved thus far. We have some persons of interest. We have a lot of things that are working in our favor to further these investigations. But to those criminals or to those offenders who feel as though they will continue to victimize our citizens and our city, just know for a fact that we are coming for you. With that being said, again, I thank you for coming here today and allowing us to message this, what I feel is an important message to our citizens, and I'll answer any questions that we may have at this time.
Chief, has the public been forthcoming in any of these shootings with information or anything that can help?
You know, we always talk about the partnerships and how much of a partner, big parts that the community plays in this partnership. They have been, but we've seen in some cases where they've been a little bit reluctant. And I can understand that. And that is why you have that avenue to get us the information anonymously. And in some instances, some people just thought that the information wasn't worth giving to us. So no matter how minor you may think that information is, get it to us. And that would help us. That could be the straw that breaks the camel's back with regards to our investigations.
Yes, Chief, this homicide at the church, what location is that?
600 block of General Taylor. I do not know the name of that church, but we had 4 victims in this shooting, 2 of which are deceased. And that is an ongoing investigation at this time. October 6th, Wednesday, this past Wednesday. Yes.
You didn't touch too much on juveniles, but I do know that in several of the incidents, shooting incidents,
Yes.
juveniles were involved as young as 15 years old. Talk about that a little bit, if you're concerned. I mean, this is obviously it's a school day.
Yes, yes. And that is, that is part of our concern. Again, as I mentioned before, it is alarming to have a violent incident to occur, well, any death anytime anyone loses their life, or anytime anyone is victimized in a violent crime, it's very concerning to us. But to have it to occur during broad daylight, not under the cover of darkness, that we're dealing with a different criminal element at this point in time. I won't just put it on the juveniles because we have some adults that have been just as much responsible for that. But we have to continue to do our diligence, whether they are juveniles or adults, to ensure that we hold them accountable for their actions.
Advocate?
What is the tally again, the 48 hours? We had how many shootings, how many homicides?
I'll let PIO get that to you, have Gary get that to you, but I can speak to the 6th District. Over the last 48 hours, they had 3 incidents in which they had 2 homicides as well as a non-fatal shooting. One homicide was last night, in which we had 4 victims. 1 of the 4 is deceased, 3 are surviving victims. The one I mentioned to you on the 600 block of General Taylor, in which we had 4 victims, 2 of which are deceased. And the other occurred in the 6th District on Richard Street, and I believe there may have been 3 victims as well. That was a non-fatal shooting, the last one on Richard Street I just mentioned.
What can you tell us about this one you're working currently behind that?
It just came out as I walked out that door.
Do you know how many people hit?
I don't have any information on that at this time, unfortunately. I was prepared to speak to 6 homicides, not 7, unfortunately. Now we're dealing with 7. And let me say this week, I mean, we were having a great week with regards to crimes reported in the city of New Orleans. As of this morning, we had 40 violent crimes reported to us thus far as of this morning. No, this week, for the week. When we're averaging about 55, 56 homicides, violent crimes per week. Last year, we were averaging about 81, 82 violent crimes reported per week, same time last year. So we have seen this decline in violent crime, but we still have to do our due diligence in preventing others from occurring.
Gabrielle?
You have operations in place to deal with these issues. So how are you guys going to change these things going forward to continue to combat crime?
I'm sorry?
You have operations in place to deal with these issues. So how do you plan to change things going forward?
So each district have their own deployment plan based on the needs of that community, based on the needs of that district. But we also have our violent crime abatement investigation team, which is comprised of our FBI partners, our partners at ATF, our partners at the Louisiana State Police, as well as our investigators that help enhance or further not just those district investigations, but also the homicide investigations. Again, giving additional overtime to homicide, giving additional overtime to the districts so that their investigators can further their investigations, but also create some visibility or add additional visibility into our deployment plan throughout their patrol as well as a part of our overall package. But each district have their own specific deployment plan based on the needs of that district.
It's warm out here, so we're going to take 2 more. Doctor?
I know that each case is different, but
Yeah.
Do you find that a lot of the shootings that have happened over the last week have been retaliatory shootings, or any idea about motive?
So that is what we're looking into. I would not say that it is not, and I cannot confirm that they are retaliatory shootings, but that is something we definitely are looking into, especially given the proximity of some of these incidents that have occurred. So again, I hope next week when I stand before you, I can speak to the clearances and the path forward as to what we have done with regards to not just these investigations this week, but prior investigations as well. And that's also the purpose of issuing additional overtime hours to our investigative units.
All right, last question.
No arrests in any of these cases?
Not just yet, not just yet. I can't go into too many details on that, but I can say again, we have identified some persons of interest and some suspects in some of our
Robert, you have
cases.
the final word.
And just to make sure, the shooting on MLK last night, there were 5 victims, not 6.
There were 4 victims. 4. I'm gonna tell you, we had a lot of things going on last night. You had that incident in the 2600 block of MLK, in which we had 4 victims, 1 of the 4 which are deceased. Then we also had a triple shooting at Allen and Rusherblave, in which we had 3 victims in the 5th district. And then we also had a homicide at Gentilly and Franklin. So all of these incidents were working at one time, so it kind of got convoluted as to the number of victims on each scene, but we have since been able to sort through it all. 4 at MLK, yes, sir. Yes. So, again, I'd like to thank you all. I hope you have a great weekend. But again, I want to reassure our citizens as well as our visitors of New Orleans, we are committed. We will continue throughout this weekend to conduct our investigations. Any information that you may have, no matter how minute you may think it may be, get it to us so that we can further our investigations. And then last but not least, again, to those offenders, we are coming for you. We will identify you, we will locate you, and we will arrest you.